Henry T., your show.
Coach, you beat them up on rebounds, only 9 turnovers, but you only had 6. That right there, is that the fact they only had 6 turnovers? Does that mean you didn't play hard enough?
I thought we tried. We thought at the beginning of the game we could get them to turn it over. They are a team that turned it over. They just went really small against us all night, which we were kind of thinking a little bit about. And as the game kind of unfolded, I think we just retreated, just trying to keep guys in front of us and challenge shots. It's probably the smallest, quickest team we've seen. Green Bay had a little bit of that, but Green Bay, I think, had a little bit of older, more experienced guys. They're just some young guys that came in and I thought played really hard and spread us out. Which I kind of talked about in the pregame being a little bit of a concern. And I think it went from, trying to maybe get out and do some things as opposed to let's just keep these guys in front of us as best we can. And eventually it even morphed into us playing a little zone down the stretch.
Real quick, you start conference real soon. Not to discredit your team, is that the hardest you can play right now?
I think we all felt it all game long. I felt it in the pretty much since we got back from the trip. We just look a little tired right now. It was a long trip. It was a long haul. You want to be back. I think the free throw line, even those early shots were air balls. We just didn't have the legs and the juice I would have wanted. I don't think it was a mental thing or an engagement thing. I thought our practices and our preparation for this game were good. We just didn't have a lot of burst tonight, and we just talked about it now in the locker room. We got to find a way to get that back by Wednesday. It was obviously a long haul, but that's over with now, and we've got to kind of let that go. That all being said, to not be where we really want to be physically and grind out a 9-point win against a pretty good basketball team is encouraging. It's like we've kind of used this before. That's a game probably we drop in the past.
Lyle was working on free throws before the second half. Is that something you told him to do, or is that something he wanted to do?
I didn't talk about it, so that's something he probably did on his own, yeah.
Paul, Carlton's game, especially there in the second half, they had every chance to they did take the lead at one point. You guys go on a 7-0 run. Carlton hits 4 straight free throws, got a block shot at one end and a big offensive rebound in that stretch. Carlton's game hasn't actually been talked about a whole lot this year, but it looked like in that second half that's kind of what you guys are hoping Carlton does every game.
For sure. I think obviously Carlton has had some great stretches in finishing, not great stretches in finishing, but what's been the best has been his free throw shooting. To have a big of his size that you feel confident with every time he goes to the free throw line is it's a great benefit to our program and our team. And today he was finishing around the rim terrific. So hopefully that'll continue to kind of go for him. You're right. I thought his block was big. They went really small and they played 5 guards, and we kind of kept our bigs in there thinking we'd have the advantage around the rim, and it happened to be just enough of an advantage for us to get the victory.
And when a team is fouling you late in the game because you guys have a lead, is Carlton, is your 5 normally the guy you have down there hitting the inbound?
Yeah, no, he's such a good target. He did it last year too. It's just great when you're inbounding the ball to have such a good, reliable target to pass to that even if he does happen to get fouled, we're okay. So the way our kind of press break worked at the end of the game was actually just exactly how we drew it up. And if they happen to foul him, that would have been okay, and the one time they did.
What did you take away from the 2 games in New York?
Probably a lot. I think the big part to me, if you look at the whole 4 game, was just our bounce back. I thought the bounce back against New Mexico State after UTEP showed us a lot. And I think to play Auburn at 7:30, get home at whatever time, and then have to play the next day at 5 o'clock against Wisconsin and bounce back and get that win, I just thought showed a lot of resolve, and not on my part. I think it was really our guys staying connected, believing, being competitive, wanting to be winners, and I think they did that tonight. I think they did that last home game against McNeese. It wasn't pretty, but these guys find ways to just fight through and get wins.
Paul, you mentioned the burst wasn't quite there, so the offensive execution, was it where you wanted? Were you getting the shots in the first half that you wanted?
We did. Obviously, when you start to miss free throws and that score stays a little close and the other team gets confidence and then you start to feel like this game is closer than it really is. I was pleading with the guys at halftime, like, guys, we played a pretty darn good half. If you told me that was going to be the foul discrepancy, the free throw discrepancy, all the way down the line, field goal percentages, we had a good half. And unfortunately, we just didn't quite seem to get that energy and pop that I would have liked. We showed it in enough stretches. I thought we actually started the game defensively very strong and kind of kept it where we needed to. And then fortunately in that kind of end of that second half, we were able to pull away.
2 questions for you, Keith. personal that Keith didn't hardly play at all?
Nothing. It was really just a rotation thing. I think them going small, we really wanted to pound the ball inside and kind of play those guys that could get the ball to the paint. And it's tough. I think I've had these conversations before, picking who's going to be in and out of the games. There's time, Zane's sitting there going, man, I want to get in. There's times Carlton's sitting there, man, I want to get in. Sometimes it's different guys that don't happen to get in. It's the beauty of my job, and it's also the hardest part of my job, having all these different guys we can play. But sometimes your number's just not going to be called down the stretch.
And second, given what's going on in football and the crowd that was there yesterday, do you guys ever feel like maybe you're carrying the banner for the entire school, the athletic department, to have some success and feel good stories here?
I don't know. That's probably not my question to answer. It's probably an Eddie Nunez question. Thank you,
You
though.
talked about three-pointers and how your team's not really focusing on taking too many of them. Vance Jackson is one of the guys who's attempting the most, but his percentage is also one of the lowest. Is he shooting those by himself, or is that something you're trying to get him to work on more?
I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to get him to shoot more. I think he passes on a lot of good ones and takes a lot of hard ones, and I think that has something to do with it. And sometimes the shooters, it comes and goes, and hopefully he'll get it back going again. You look at the shots, you talk about what will be a good one, what will be a bad one. There are some that he takes right now that aren't falling a lot. I'd like to move him away from into some other kinds, but he's also he wants one to go down. He's trying, so he's fighting a little bit, and hopefully at some point he'll see some go through so he can get his confidence going.
I hate to go broken record on their three-point shooting, but you got a team coming in Boise State that can hit a lot of threes.
Yep.
Are you happy with the space you were given on the perimeter tonight, especially with the guy off the bench who is a three-point shooter?
Yeah.
4 of them on you guys?
Not great. Literally before the game, we watched the Wisconsin shots, and the ones were challenging and the one were not, and we went out, and even that shot there at the end of the half, we're still not probably contesting the threes at anywhere near the rate we need to. I thought Zane had a huge one late on a really, really big stop, and we have to challenge all our shots that way for 40 minutes, every player on the court, in order to be the team we want to be, in order to catch some of these teams that are kind of ahead of us right now. And Boise's probably in that group. In order to beat a Boise, we're going to have to be that much better defensively challenging shots.
Anything else for Coach?
Guys, real quick on
One more.
Tavian Percy. Tavian,
Yeah.
Tavian's first half didn't play a whole lot the second half.
Yeah.
but Tavian seems to be giving you stretches that I don't know if you expected out of him.
No, I'll be honest with you. The best part about Tavian is not the energy and the defense he's given us. He's moving the ball on offense. And when he came in, he had a chance to kind of drive, and he pulled it back out and kicked it to somebody else, and we ended up getting the basket. And that's what we need out of guys. We unfortunately don't need guys coming in trying to press and trying to score. We need guys to help move the ball and keep our rhythm going with those guys coming in. And Tavian's been excellent. I wish I can find him some more minutes. I hope we can continue to, because he's made a great jump from his freshman year, and I'm really excited, hopefully, about where his career is going to go.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.